What's up YouTube, this is ERC Shadow, and welcome to another installment of my Best Money Mission series. So if you're new to this series, this is where we look at all the missions available within a certain level range, soloing on hard difficulty, and we'll take a look at the payout you get for completing the mission, but then we'll also take into account things like the ammo and the body armor you'll need to buy, how quickly you can restart the mission if you're trying to grind it. So for example, you're going to need to drive halfway across the map just to get back to the start place, or is the game going to teleport you back, which will save you a whole load of time. And we'll also consider the difficulty of each mission, which will obviously affect how reliably you can complete the mission again and again and again. So the idea being, at the end of this video, we have a top 5 of the missions that you want to do to get the most money at a particular level range. But not only that, you'll actually understand why they are the top 5 missions. So, we've previously looked at other level ranges like levels 21 to 30, levels 51 to 60, and all the level 61 missions plus. In this video, we're going to be looking at missions for levels 41 to 50. Okay, so at level 41 to 50, there are 4 contacts that offer us missions. They are Martin, who offers us cleaning the cat house, drying dock, editor and thief, effing lasers, extradition, hold up Burton, and mixed up with coke. Gerald offers us dish the dirt, Lester, 4 trailers, and Trevor, chop chop and out of harmony. So as usual, we're looking at missions you can solo on hard difficulty, so we're immediately going to cut out any missions that require at least 2 players to start. So we're going to lose effing lasers and chop chop because they require 2 players as a minimum. So next we're going to get rid of any missions that, whilst they technically only need 1 player to play, you really want to be playing it with at least 2 people, either because it's going to take so long to do, or it's going to be so hard. There are 3 of those missions that we're going to lose, and I'll explain each one. So dry docking we're going to lose from Martin, and that's because you need to crack a safe as part of the mission, and whilst you can technically do that solo if you're lucky, you really don't want to be trying to do that stuff on your own. Next one we're going to lose is 4 trailers from Leicester, and that's because you need to steal 2 lorries and get them back to Leicester's warehouse. And if you're playing solo, you're going to have to take 1 lorry, get it to Leicester's, go back and then get the other one. That's going to take far too long. You're going to be way over the 4-minute target for completing the mission, so that one's out too. Finally, we're going to lose Out of Harmony by Trevor. I do love this mission, trying to do it on solo, but it is so damn difficult. You have a very tight time limit to do the mission in. It's a very long mission anyway, it's going to take you at least 8 minutes. And for the purposes of grinding a mission to get as much cash as possible, that's simply not going to work for us here. Okay, so if we get rid of the ones we've lost so far, we're left with 5 missions from Martin and 1 from Gerald. So let's take a closer look at these ones. So if you're familiar to my videos, you'll know ideally you want to complete a mission in 4 minutes, which, due to the formula that Rockstar used to calculate payouts, always works out at the best dollars per minute. Now I know there are plenty of people out there that say, you should wait for 15 minutes to complete a mission. Unfortunately, they're just plain wrong. If you do it for 15 minutes, you'll get twice the payout, yes, but you'll also have spent quadruple the time playing the mission. It doesn't make sense if you're trying to grind for cash. So luckily, all 6 of these missions left can be completed in 4 minutes, so we haven't got to worry about anything there. So the next thing we want to look at is how fast you can repeat the mission, i.e. what is the distance from where the mission ends to where the mission starts, because if you're repeating the mission, you're going to have to get back there. So as you're probably aware by now, some missions will automatically take you back to the start position, which you'll hear me sometimes refer to as a forced start or a teleport. There's one of them in this category, which is Editor and Thief, but the other one, Hold Up Burton, if you watch my strategy guide for that, there is a way to make sure you're back at the start ready when you finish the mission so that you're in a good place to start the mission up again. Therefore, those 2 are technically 0 miles. Next, at 1.6 miles, you got Mixed Up with Coke. Now that one is going to technically vary depending on how long it takes you to get the cement mixer at the end. However, with a bit of practice on that mission, you can get it down to a nice easy 1.6 miles. And you'll remember from my strategy guide for that mission, if you're in a buzzard, you'll technically get zapped back to the beginning anyway. So if you used a buzzard for that mission, it is technically a 0 miles as well. However, I can't obviously assume that everyone's got a buzzard. Okay, the next one, 3.6 miles. We are talking a good distance across the map, probably not quite half. To give you an idea, 3.6 miles is from the desert airfield to about the middle of Los Santos. So actually 3 of the missions left are 3.5 or 3.6 miles. Cleaning the cat house, you've got to get from Martin's back to the desert airfield. Extradition, you've got to get from Martin's house back to Fort Zancudo. And Dish the Dirt, again, you've got to go from Gerald's house in Los Santos back to pretty much the desert airfield again. So of those 6, we're going to have to lose 1. And let's face it, it's going to be one of the 3.6 milers. Okay, so what are the best 5 missions to play to earn cash between levels 41 to 50? So coming in at number 5 is Martin's level 45 mission, Cleaning the Cat House. This will get you $10,150 for completing in 4 minutes. And the notes against this are you're going to need a helicopter. It's not necessarily a buzzard, but you need a helicopter that you can call from Pegasus. As long as you have that, then you won't need to use any ammo, and you won't need to use any body armor. So all it's going to cost you in-game is the $200 to call the helicopter from Pegasus in the first place. So that works out a very nice $2,538 per minute. But what lets down cleaning the cat house most of all is the fact you're going to have to drive back from Martin's to the desert airfield every time you want to repeat the mission, and unfortunately that's going to lose you some valuable time. So coming in at number 4 is Gerald's level 45 mission Dish the Dirt. Once you subtract the bit of ammo you're going to have to use, this works out at about $10,000 in 4 minutes, which is $2,500 per minute. Again, in order to be able to do that in 4 minutes, you're going to need a helicopter of some sort. Again, doesn't have to be a buzzard. But once again, this mission is let down by the fact you're going to have to get back from Los Santos to the desert each time you want to replay the mission. Coming in at number 3 is Martin's level 45 mission Mixed Up with Coke. Once you subtract the money for the ammo, this is coming in at about $10,000 in 4 minutes, which is $2,500 per minute. However, using my strategy guide, you won't need a helicopter or a buzzard to complete this in 4 minutes. You can do it with just a car, and you won't need to use that much ammo at all. A couple of sniper rifle rounds, and a few SMG or AP pistol rounds. Coming in at number 2 is Martin's level 50 mission Holdup Burton. The best way to maximise your money from this is to use a tank if you've got one, because it'll only cost you $200 to call it, and then you won't need to use any ammo or armour. Of course, if you don't have a tank, then you're going to have to use a lot of ammo, which is going to take a bit of a chunk out of your profit for the mission. Using a tank and subtracting the $200 for calling it will get you $10,300 in the 4 minutes, which works out at $2,575 per minute. And coming in at number 1, and in my opinion the best mission in this level range, is Martin's level 45 mission Editor and Thief. Now there are 2 notes against this mission. The first one is that teleport icon, which means that wherever you are when you finish the mission, you will get teleported straight back to the default start place every single time when you start the mission again, which will save you shed loads of time driving anywhere. The other thing to mention against this mission is it is dependent on losing the cops. So if something goes really wrong and you struggle to lose the cops, that could impact how long it takes you to complete the mission and put your 4-minute target at risk. However, following my guide should show you the best ways to avoid this, and it's always worth bearing in mind you can call Lester to get rid of the cops if it's going really wrong. So after you've subtracted the cost of the single sniper rifle bullet that you're going to have to use to complete this mission, you'll be getting $10,300 in the 4 minutes for the mission, which works out at $2,575 per minute. So there you go. As you can see, all 5 missions are pretty similar in their payouts, so they're all pretty good missions. And in fact, when you compare these per minute payouts versus other missions, other levels, these are actually some of the best in the entire game. And one last thing I should point out is it was very close at the bottom between cleaning the cat house and extradition. Extradition is a pretty good mission because it is a level 50, which means you're going to get a slightly higher payout than cleaning the cat house if you can do it in 4 minutes. And assuming you follow the strategy guide that I have for that mission, and you use the laser jet plane, you won't have to fire a single bullet or lose any armour. But the main thing that let it down for that mission was the fact you have to drive quite a distance again to get from the end of the mission back to the start. Plus, there are some really risky, tricky bits in that mission, like landing on the bridge with the jet. And for that reason, I felt it wasn't one of those missions you could reliably, constantly complete time after time. And for that reason, cleaning the cat house just beat it into the number 5 slot. So anyway guys, I hope you found that useful. Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to check out all my other videos. We've got plenty of strategy guides for these missions and others, tips and tricks videos, and the other best money mission guides. Cheers guys, thanks for watching.